Hello. It's amazing. What's amazing? Tara Bustle. It's amazing. Yes. What's amazing? Basically, the speed, it can happen so suddenly. The speed at which you go from, what should we say, discovery in the tune making process. So that would be when you've already done the first idea and you've listened to it later and decided it was good. And it's because it's good. It's inspired you to you do some more stuff with it to finish it. And that doing more stuff with it is can be called discovery, like a discovery phase, and it's still a hello, Carlos. It can still be a sort of it like a raw creation stage. It doesn't have to be. It still doesn't have to be editing, which is like a different hat and a different mode and to be in a session. So discovery is where you could destroy. You've got permission to destroy a track or just try lots of different things with it and see what sticks. And I thought I was already moving out of that phase with this track, and because I'd made the full arrangement, like sort of 4 or 5 minutes. But then there was one thing bugging. I'd done the extended the arrangement, which is one of the things that takes you to sort of a draft, and I'd extended it, and I was like, I'm still not happy with the bass. The bass has got this like rhythm that I like. That's almost like the whole basis of the entire track is around this rhythm, just one little rhythm. But the bass was still bugging me, so I kept coming back to it, going, don't know what to do about it. And I thought, right, I'm just going to basically go back into discover mode and throw loads of stuff at it again, just the bass. So I did that, and I think I've made the bass better by adding more variations and more like mud effects to it, and which adds even more movement. And I don't think with like dubstep you can have too much movement in the bass, because it's if it's that kind of dubstep, like sort of American style dubstep, which is tends to be a little bit more on average, a bit more mad rather than chill. It tends to be a bit more tear out, um, or even early dubstep, the madness that was like early UK dubstep, that kind of vibe. I like to make tracks like that, but I also like to have in my tracks a bit that's like not mad as a contrast within the same track. So I've done that, and now suddenly I've found myself mixing. I'm just suddenly trying to get the sub levels right and a good loud signal hitting the master limiter, which I don't really want to. I don't really want it to do any work at all. The limiter, minimal, because it has it's quite easy to overwhelm it, and it will sound pumpy, or it will take energy out of a sound if just because the bass is like 1 decibel higher. It can, if there's a sub frequency that's just a bit too high, it can just muddy, it can just take the energy out of everything else in the track in that moment. Yeah, so I've started mixing. Okay, I am, how are you? I am cooking this thing. I've just explained how I have gone from mixing, into a creation mode to mixing, because suddenly this track is I'm happy with it. Everything was good with it, apart from I didn't like the bass. I liked the rhythm. The rhythm was the main thing that has driven this entire track's creation, really. Just like when it kicks in, just that boom. But I wasn't happy with the original bass sound. Just the sound of the high mids. Everything else I liked about it. So I've compensated for it by adding a layer that complements it. So I don't know if I might have fucked up. This is the thing. It's like I'm just going with this new a new way of doing it. I've still got the other version. This is like I've just started added stuff to it, messing stuff up. I can always go back to the other one. But I feel like I made it better, especially in this bit here. There's more movement than there was before. And I was just saying as well, like I don't think in this kind of dubstep you can have too much movement in the bass. Obviously you could do it too fast and it sounds more noisy. And it there's a point where you do too much modulation and it just gets too noisy. So there's like this balance. All right, Jay. Play it, some guy. Sorry, that's crackling because I've got the master turned up super loud. Lasers. Something is crackling. What is it? Yeah, something's making it run really slow. What the hell? It's too cringe. It's way too much processor use. What is using all that? It could be this. I know what it is. It's this bloody thing that I'm using. I'm gonna have to bounce these out. Filter table is adding a latency of 3,000 samples, which is quite big. And there's 3 tracks with it on. So I'm gonna have to make a decision. Commit to it. I'm gonna have to commit. So we're gonna commit. So I'm just gonna save it. So I can go back if I need to. It's not really commitment, is it? But it is, because it's a pain in the ass to go back. It takes a long time. Freeze and flatten. Producer's best friend. This is 140. How did I make? Thank you, sick. Wobbly one, rating it. Thank you. how did you make these sounds? There's the bass is layered actually now in pretty much every part. It was started off with a serum. Some of it was bounced to WAV. Yeah, that's the serum patch. And it's all about this bit here. Just this little pattern here is the entire basis that the whole track revolves around, this little rhythm that occurs, which just sounds like boom. So that's and it happens before the kick as well. It's like you could say it happens at the end of the bar. 1, 2, wait. At the end of every bar, it goes boom. But it's actually starting early. And then, so I bounced that to WAV, which actually the original serum patch sounds like that. So, but I didn't like how hurty it was in mid-range in for ears. So I went back in and then started adding, but I still kept it, but added a layer, which seems to complement it. And then I used, so for this bit, it's the same, but I've got this magic thing on which kills your processor called filter table. I don't know if any of you plugin hunters have heard of filter table. That just came out, and there's a community made one that just came out as well. And what it does is it's wavetables for filters. So but with this one, I went hunting for it. I was like, what other filter table plugins are out there? And then I found this Japanese made thing. And I don't know if I've got any Japanese made plugins, but look at it. It actually shows you a 2D wavetable as a 2D image. Why has no one else done that? Because that's what it is. That's the data you load in, and that's what a wavetable looks like in a 2x2 square, in a 2D square. And when you run the position down it, that's what you see gets applied there. It is PEX, high PEX. That is badass. Thank you, Jay. Yeah, so this is an amazing plugin, and I decided to buy this. Straight out, as soon as I saw it, I was like, this is the innovative user interface that I'm after. You know, someone could, you know what, someone could come along and make a better Ableton. If it's probably not possible. I mean, I think Ableton's already like, you couldn't really make it much easier and quicker to lay stuff down. But this visual representation of what, like, you know, let's use your eyes as much as possible. The crazy thing is, though, even though you can see what that looks like, you can't really imagine what it looks like until you run this thing over it. I mean, you can a bit, but it'll probably just sound like this. But yeah, because it's a linear phase, and it will run on, it does this with this process called fast Fourier transform, this old mathematical discovery which kind of like runs a lot of plugins. It runs, if you want it to sound good, it's slow. It needs a lot of buffer time, so it will use a lot of CPU. And so I've got like 3 copies of it, and it's killing my CPU right now. As soon as I went live, it started struggling. So I've frozen one track. It's a bit better now. EBM. What's EBM? Or did you mean EDM or EBM? I think this is my favourite line here. But it's still got that, which I don't like. No, I don't have electronic body music. Is this it? Maybe it is. I'd like to think it is electronic body music. I want it to be the literal meaning of EBM. Yeah, I want it to be. I want when I listen to music like this, I want to be completely in the flow with it. So that might mean flopping around like an inflatable tube man in the wind. Because I mean, it does flop in anyway. But if it's windy as well, actually, no. If it's windy, it's just falling on its side, and no, I don't want to be like on my side on the dance floor. I don't want to be like flat on the dance floor, flopping around. It's not a good look. I mean, you know, if that's what you want to do in life, fair enough. But I'd rather be at the front, stomping away, holding onto the bar sometimes and going, Maddie made me do it. Hi, how are you? So that coupled with this kind of low little, that's the variation I added, which altered the original a little bit. Can't remember. That's kind of the original, and then I'd pitched it down twice, that oscillator, which gives it a nice lower mid presence. Legal VST, hello. So yes, this suddenly became a mixing session. Because I realised some of the bass boosts that I did were too big and were killing it, the mixer. Like, look at that. I never usually do that. 9 dB in the sub-region on any sound. So I did it because it sounded okay, knowing full well I've probably overdone it. And it turns out, now that I am in the editing stage, I can see that I have. I mean, there's the kick. The kick goes up to -17 and that goes up to -7. So the sub is 10 dB louder, which is too much, in my humble opinion. I've been mixing for a bit, but I'm still learning. So if that's 10 dB louder, that means this entire thing is pointless here. I need to bring it all the way down. There are different... Oh, I am actually AMD now. I've been in Intel for a long time. I would hate to say, oh, well, that's your problem, mate. Because I'd be like, no. I mean, I almost got an Intel again. But I went for the smaller etching process at 4 nanometers. But they're pretty much evenly matched. The alternative to this, the Intel alternative, in the same price range. No time. Have a good evening, VST. Enjoy your no time. Thanks, Legal VST. Are you an Intel AMD? When it was a case of, was it, what, have you got a crypto mining virus? How did you find it? Was it, did Windows security find it, or another? Enjoy your week, Legal VST. Have a good week. I wish a good week to everyone. I feel like I've had an extremely tiring week, and then this morning I had a decent sleep, finally. I've had a few catch-up sleeps in a row, and now I kind of feel normal again. It won't last long, but Cyberfilth, I definitely want to make EBM. Again, I love the term. They made it impossible to download an antivirus. But hang on, Windows has an antivirus. Could Windows, did it somehow deactivate Windows security, or did you have it deactivated? Still crackling in it. There's still something that's going a bit. Is it this? That's record. Backtrack runs. It's because I've still got that activated. That could be it. But yeah, Reggie, it looks like you did find it. So you winning. You're totally winning. Right, what am I doing? I'm turning down subs now because this needs to be balanced. I'll show you what I mean. Because you can't, if the limiter is a really good indicator if you're running subs too hot into it, because seeing that, let's push it. So I'm just putting more signal into the limiter, so it's just the kicks and the snares coming through mainly, but the moment you see something a bit, you'll see what I mean. It deactivated Windows Defender. Oh dear. Yeah. How did you get rid of it? Did you right click in like Task Manager and find the path? Execute the opposite of execution. De-execute. Kill. No, it's called kill, isn't it? Kill the process. There's a strange thing on mine, and it's called L Sasso. No, L also, and it doesn't say. It doesn't say it's a Windows process, and it doesn't give a path. And I'm like, that is a very suspicious file. But when you delete it, Windows stops, and you have to restart your computer. And when you Google it, it says, "Oh, it's part of normal Windows operation." But why does it not say it's by Windows? I'm suspicious. No way. That's clever. No antivirus could find it, so I had to run a thing called transcript. Whoa. Is transcript, well, geek talk here. Is this specifically looking for crypto miners? I'd love to know if there's anything in my background that I can't see, yeah? Yeah, you can see it there. See how it dips? That's too much. See if I mute it, it goes away. But when we look what I did, with the crime of crimes, I put 9 dB of sub boost. It took me years to realise that was too much. I've been making D&B for a long time, which is, like high. The best stuff I think is like highly technical. You could have something that's a vibe and doesn't really matter as much about the production, about the engineering. But when you want like that cutting edge engineering, there's two types of D&B, I guess. There's like the arms race. It's not really an arms race, but it's a bunch of never-ending added to techniques for making stuff louder and punchier and grindier without sounding too distorted. And it's always getting better, but while keeping the vibe. And then there's this like soulful stuff, which is lovely, like Caliber, where it's your sound choice is just as important, if not more important. Soul isn't easy to do. soulful stuff. Well, there you go. Ah, yeah. So, yeah, is it still running? If it's FL Studio is still running, even after getting rid of the minor rootkit? Yeah, I ran a rootkit scanner years ago on my old laptop, and it didn't find anything. I was kind of like disappointed. No, that wasn't on the. It was on the Andrew Cook. It was on the one of the bases. So that's an improvement now. What I don't usually do this. I don't even usually bounce to WAV a lot. Quite often I'll have a sound in Serum that's got a sub in it, and then I will filter out the sub, duplicate that Serum with the MIDI, and just have a sub track completely separately with just a pure sine wave in it. No distortion, no. The filtered above mid bit has everything, all the good sound, and then there's just a highly controlled, like when you've just got a sine wave underneath, you can have a lot of control over it with the kick and its relationship with the kick, and that's what I usually do. But for this track, I've and I could still do that. I could just strip, literally high pass everything, and just have a separate sub that dances with the kick and phases with the kick and ducks with the kick if need be to get it sounding, because phase, especially in the low end, more so the lower you go, can really screw and send too much of a big, when two waves meet and they multiply, that peak, that really big peak, can send your limiter and your make it dip too much, which can make other bits of your track dip too much, and just add to the sort of, just take away the energy. You'd think more energy is more energy, but no. Sometimes more energy sounds like less. These are like, a decade of wisdom. It does, if it does, makes you pump too much sometimes, yeah. So that's what I'm trying to do here, is make sure that sub in here, that just that specific bit there, which is 39, or thereabouts, 39 hertz. I can't remember what note that is. Is that, can I look on here? Let's have a look. C. Oh, it's a G. No, it can't be a G. Can't be. It's an E, apparently. An E0 gives an E. That's what you get. Right, so to check that that's kind of working okay, that rude sub has gone there, and it's just back to the kick and snare again, and the kick is, let's have a look at the kick, is at -7 still, or minus, thereabouts, yeah, 7.8, and the sub is at -20, which is lower than the kick. I think you want it to be lower than the kick. Expert producers, you are welcome to come in and say, no, you want it to be 6 dB or 3 dB lower than the kick, or something else. It's hard to tell without putting lots of commercially released tracks through this exact setup of whatever spectrograph you're using. Vision 4X on the all-round setting. I used to use that free one called, which is amazing for a free piece of with FreeVST. I can't remember what name it is because I've not used it for so long. Oh my gosh. Had it on every single master channel. It served me so well, and it's still good. It's not there now. It's not even there. Anyway, whatever it's called. OSC. Span. Voxenjo. Span. Spectrograph. Okay, so this is a graph. This is a graph. See how it is X and Y over time plotted. So this is and it's of spectrum. So a spectrograph. And this is a spectrogram. I think this is a spectrogram because it's an instant readout of where the frequencies are. Let's get span on it. Span. I'll show you the classic free and still updated as well. It's not got my preset, which is, oh, it's gone. Oh, my preset's gone. That's great. Doesn't matter. We can make it again. Yeah, so it's telling me the same information. No, it's the same thing. You see the kick? The kick is, put it to 4096 and average. See, it reads differently on here. So it's saying -24 is the peak of the kick. -23. And then the sub is coming in at -31, which is 8 dB difference. I kind of trust this more for that because I've used this for such a long time, this Voxenjo span. Another way, so it's actually good to use 2 different meters because you kind of like without having a giant sound system, a club size sound system to test it on an experiment with for a few hours while you mix a track, you have to, or without having a really purpose-built studio with all the proper sound absorption. I say proper, I mean you can spend $2,000 and get some absorption of all frequencies, or you can spend another $2,000 and just make a slightly smaller bit of difference, and then you could spend double that and make an even smaller amount of difference. But in the low end, you want that as much as possible. So yeah, if I had $10,000, I might be able to get what I want. But then you need a really big room to start with to build it all in, and then obviously really nicely tuned subs and sound system to go with it. Trust the NS10s. If you trust your NS10s, that's it. It's great. So yeah, because I have got a sub in this room, it's a really cheap sub. It's great for hearing sort of the general energy of the track, but I found it's actually worse to mix with than these headphones because it starts rolling off at 45 hertz, starts going down, and DMB typically goes down to sort of 35 before it rolls off. See, I've never owned a pair. I've only ever owned like my old hi-fi speakers, which I got some active speakers. I gave my old hi-fi speakers away, which are shit. They're really bad in the high end. and it's just made of cardboard or whatever. And he had them in his lounge, in his smoke lounge, for a long time. And lots of tunes got played for it. They got turned up. You could smell them burning sometimes, or getting very hot, not burning. And eventually he moved out and he got rid of them. And I was like, oh, maybe I should take it. I'm like, oh, no. It needs to go. Like, I've got no room. Anyway, a few years later, I was like, shit, I wish I'd kept them. I got them off him because they had a certain sound and I knew that sound really well. They would have been rubbish for mixing the high end though, which kind of makes them a pointless speaker. But I mean, if you know what sounds good on it, it's good to have lots of speakers to compare mixes on, doesn't it? If you can make it sound good on all of them and use references of like commercial tracks. Oh yeah, it's my Christmas jumper, look, from like years ago. I did Christmassy things today. Lots of lights. Monk, thank you for following, Monk. Parametric EQ, yeah, heavy EQ that I use pretty much. Yeah, Mark Bygent, Span is the one in it. I stopped using it in Februrary because I thought Vision X was... Well, I wanted Vision X for the spectrograph. I couldn't find a spectrograph that did what I wanted to do. And then I found Vision 4X. But because it has a spectrogram built in, I just kind of use that. It can only tell you so much. Anyway, they've seen it visually. But like I say, I need this stuff because I can't reproduce those bass frequencies. I could definitely reproduce, but not those bass frequencies in. I mean, like that's why I've got no time. Like, I have tonight. Got a bit of time. Anyway, I'm wearing a Christmas jumper, so subs are expensive to reproduce in the real world, so I have to use a visual aid, and guess the rest. I suppose the real test is using the spectrograms, comparing it with commercial source material fed through the very same spectrograms and spectrographs, and seeing how the kick and the bass, just seeing the average levels, and just sort of, and also the balance with the low end versus the high end and stuff, and just kind of, and for the rest of it, using your ears. If you want to sound like a commercial grade track, it has to kind of sound, just the overall EQ level, just roughly has to sound like that. And that's a whole other pursuit as well, to try and get that right. A lot of trial and error. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. Get the kick sub balance right, and then I think I'll listen to some reference tunes to kind of mix the mids and highs, because that's something that's I find really hard as well. 2.5 wave vocals is that, I don't know what that is. Is that the one with like two? We have two large cones and one small cone, or the other way around? Very fatiguing, right? Colin, thank you for following. Transients pop out well, right? Yeah, so I got some Adam what are they called now? Is it A5A with a 5-inch cone? And I really like the high end in those. I can't really use them much because everyone's in bed usually, but they are super clear compared to what I've had before. And And obviously, like, speaker manufacturing has come a long way since the 80s. So I do like them, but what, yeah, they still struggle with is the low end. As soon as it goes below 200 into the hundreds, it's interfering with my sub, and I haven't got a proper crossover. And the sub car, there's no point buying a proper crossover because the sub only goes down to 45. Anyway, so and if you're making D&B, you want it to, that's useless. It's almost useless. Hit the space bar again. See, that one's too loud. Because, guess what? Once again, I've got way too much. What was it? I actually don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what I was thinking. I know that was going to be too much energy. I know it too well. Did it anyway, because why not? This one as well. Look at that, I've even done that in the EQ8 today, just now. Meow, 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 meow. Unfortunately, I've already bounced this down to audio, so we need to get this. Whoa, whoa, I hit the spacebar. Thanks, Vibe, for saying I do that. Yeah, can't remember the name. 2 subs and a small one. Right. 2 subs? Or 2, like, 8-inch cones, or... Alright, Ben. Alright, George. KOK 8-inch sub. Any thoughts? Any thoughts? If you've got a big room, get an 8-inch. Oh, a sub. Oh, I don't know. Check if it goes, what the frequency range is. I mean, it depends on your budget. Budget kind of, if you've only got 100 quid, then it might not be able to go down to 35 hertz. But you want it to be 35 and above in my own. That's what I would go for. Don't do it. There's an expert to George saying don't do it. If Mark Badgian says don't do it, he'll have a good reason. How cool. Focal Alpha Twin Evos are the name. Okay. I've got to type that in. Gear. Focal Alpha Twin Evos. That's, I guess, right. That's what I had in my head when you described the 2.5. That's what I had. Nice. That looks like a beast, though. That looks like it's going to be loud if you want it to be. Super loud. That looks a beast. Oh, is it a sub? Is it an actual sub? Oh, no. No, it's like 1/2 of a monitor. Shit. That's a beast. In this room, if I had one of them, just one of them in this room, it would just blow the windows out, probably. Two 6.5-inch cones, oh yeah. Monitors and a sub. Brilliant. Yeah, matched as well, where you can like control the crossover, and yeah. That's why I kind of want the Adam sub to go with these speakers, because you assume they're sold as a package sometimes. But yeah, I didn't. The sub costs significantly more than the speakers, which is reassuring as well. It's it's because subs are expensive to produce physically. Vibe, you are a vibe. Thank you for following. KRK, very coloured. Sub will overpower your mix. You need very deep traps, bass traps. Yeah, like a way of capturing a low frequency sound wave going through the air pressure. A way of trapping it or absorbing it in some way. Can you play a song, Broxo? Yes. Oh, there's another loud one. Oh, it's this one again, okay. We're gonna have to do an EQ cut because I did. There's another big ass one. Nothing wrong with a big ass. And that. I went wild with these EQs earlier on today. Whenever I've done this with a project before, I've ruined the project because I've lost track of how many times I've applied the EQ. Oh, and that's another thing, yeah. Is quite often I'll group all the basses, and then alter them all as one. Why didn't I do that either? Not concentrating. And then if one sub is out, you just change that one instead of all the others. Lessons I've already learned. I'll file that under that one. Maybe you've not learned it yet. How many times do you have to do a mistake until you learn it? Some say 7. Could be done in 3. Hello, sir. Where are we? Thanks, Proxo. It's a great request. Thanks, Vibe. It's Lee, 32. Of course. We all knew what 32 bits. Could be that. Could be Lee. I'm looking at upgrading from audio. Oh, I don't know that one. I don't know any of those. Colin, are those speakers? Or are those audio interfaces? Scott, hello sir, long time no see. Hello Scott, KNY. Have you changed your logo? No, sorry, it's someone else. KNY. And I do remember you coming on stream though, Scott. Detached garage. Yep. If you've got it, use it. I might have to wait a good decade until I can have a situation where I can have a purpose-built room independent of the house. Have you seen Heist? You know DJ Heist? Producer and DJ and tutor as well. He's gone into tutoring and he's got family and he gets up and he's built in his backyard just a shed, but big enough to have a room within a room. And he gets up at like 3 a.m, and that's his productive time from like 3 or 4 a.m. till the kid wakes up and stuff, and gets all this stuff done. That's a mad day. That I don't feel like I could do that. I have to do it at this time of night when everyone's in bed, before bed. But that's a dream. I'm gonna make this dream come true. It's been a long time in the making, and whether it will be funded by the music itself or some other means, we'll see. But it will happen, I think. But yeah, it's one of those long goals. Yeah, I'm not rushing to build it. That's the key thing. I'm not ever gonna get stressed about it. Two of those Anon S10s, Andrew Cook, yeah. Yeah, because you definitely want your old trusty ones to compare, just to compare the speakers together, don't you? I've still not gone for, I actually have tried that you can buy just like single speakers, monophonic and with just one speaker and not two, to sort of simulate what, like a radio in a work, like at work, where it's just like a shitty radio in the corner, and play everything through that and get used to that and mix on that as well and see what your mid sounds like on it and stuff. I like that idea, but I just use a speaker, a Bluetooth speaker for that. It's pretty cool when you can hook the output of your computer to a Bluetooth speaker, and sort of there's a bit of the delay, but it works. Right. Do you do voiceover? Recognize your voice? No way. Thanks, Vibe, again. You're full of compliments. I mean, I'm taking it as a compliment. No, I don't do voiceovers, but maybe I should. Maybe I should do some voiceovers. Yeah. Or just keep doing this. Anyone tried that software that EQs your monitors by reference mic? I did try SonicWorks, I think it was called. I know there's other ones now where you get the microphone, and I had an old pair of what's it called? Headphones. And there's a profile for, they were Sennheisers, I can't remember what model, and I used SonarWorks at the end of every master bus to correct the phase, the physical phase, because of the shape of everything and the response of the headphone speakers, to give a flat response, and it sounded great. Like, but I've never tried it in a room. I've never tried the room version of it or the room mic. I would. It would be interesting, but well, I don't use a room. I can't really mix in a room at the moment because of my family lifestyle. But I would be curious to hear what they sounded like. Is this grime? Dubstep. I'm gonna go out there and call it dubstep. Right, I think oh no, I just closed all the windows. I'm still checking for stray overpowering subs. Andrew Cook, thanks for following. Oh, omnidirectional, so it's difficult. So yeah, it is complete. Yeah. I think my basic idea for a room would be, the room would have to be, oh wait, we can work this out. So 35 hertz. This is an insane calculation to do. Length of 35 hertz. In why? Do you know what? Right, I love Google's Gemini AI and how it gives you results, but it does it all in bloody feet and American measures and Fahrenheit. That's super annoying. So I'm gonna say meters and see if it knows it from like the rest of the world. No, feet again. Lame. Just like report it. Feedback. Unhelpful. Can it be in meters, please? You gotta ask nicely. If you ask nicely, you might actually get what you want, especially with Google. Even throw a compliment in there. Like I usually go, I really love your product. You've done amazing. Oh, I'm not asking AI nicely. I'm asking but that helps as well. Apparently, no, I'm asking Google nicely. Unless no one reads it. What if AI now reads the feedback? I'm pretty sure the developers still read it because they're still trying to make it work. But yeah, everything I've asked for on Google over the years, they've always implemented it. But they're kind of like logical things that you would want to integrate in to improve the thing. Anyway, so sidetracked. 35 hertz is 8 meters, and so you only need half of that because however deep your foam is or whatever sound absorber you're using, it bounces off the wall behind it and then back through it again. So you kind of want 8.5 meters divided by 2 is 4.25 meters worth of insulation. So my ideal room, I think this is probably how anechoic chambers do their measurements. So it's a bit extreme, but yeah, that's a giant building with just a little room inside it and then 4 meters all around it, which is inexpensive and impractical. So you compromise by just looking for some attenuation of problem frequencies. So I don't know. You could have it at 2 meters thick and have the wait. Would it be halved? Would the problem reflections be halved then? And maybe that's good enough, but that's still 2 meters of insulation. And there's probably better ways of doing it. I'm just like doing a really basic, like starting with acoustics. I know there's probably a lot of like nifty tricks to like attenuate stuff in a smaller space. Wait, I can't see the chat anymore. Completely tune a room. Turning and sound dropping this spectacular track into sound. Thank you. Yeah. Should I send it to Turning and Sound when it's done? I mean, it's. So that looks loud enough. Let's have a look on here. It sounds loud enough to me as well. But that means everything else now needs turning up. It's never ending. Like mixing takes the longest. I don't know if everyone else finds this. Creating stuff is the fun, raw, creative bit, and mixing is like, what is mixing like? A good analogy for mixing. It's engineering, so it's, there's physical world, real world like limits, and if one thing occupies a space and another thing tries to occupy the same space, they conflict. And so you've got to be like, well, which one should I keep sometimes? And then it becomes a creative idea, a creative choice again. But if you don't have that choice and you're literally a mix engineer, and that's all your job is, then you've got to be like, right, well, I've got to cut loads of signal out of one of those loads of bass out of one of those signals or whatever you're doing. or send it to the side, or all the different ways of making two signals share. You have to share, children, or frequencies, whatever you are. Right, I'm chatting and I'm missing all the comments. Just catching up. Audio, turn in sound. $2.5 way. So Andrew Cook, are you getting have you got a good room? You got good treatment in the room? Audio speakers. Ah, okay. I didn't know they made. Well, they make hardware, don't they? So audio speakers. Yeah. I used to have a audio keyboard with a sound interface built in. I thought it was the best idea ever, getting a sound interface built in, but it wasn't, because it had like this weird squeaking sound on it. And I was like, I can't get rid of the keyboard or the sound interface, whatever's making squeaking, because it's all in one. So let's get rid of the whole thing. True three-way. Cali 8. Coaxial, no. Acoustic treating. Okay, Andrew Cook, gotcha. Yeah, that is a massive task from what I understand, yeah. But worth the time, money and effort. Like, it would probably put me back weeks if I ever got a place and was able to do that. Weeks. Maybe even months. Just go back to making tunes on a laptop and the headphones on the couch again. The only two-way. Alright, nice one, Scott. It's fun doing new, like, stuff you don't normally do, innit? Like, I've not done D&B. Like, the D&B is probably where most of my skill set is. I haven't done that for a year. Well, no, actually, no, I have. I need to play that Spice Girls. I'll play it on Spice Girls remix. It's like a jungle remix of Spice Girls, but not the track you think it is. It's a different one. So if it's the first thing you think it is, it's not that one. It's another track they did that you all know. Footage in me, yeah. Since should be saved. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Megameters. I don't know why it said megameters. That was really weird. I saw that as well. That was just really the megameter. Why does it say that? That's million meters a megameter. So it should be 8.5 is wavelength. Huh? I've really messed up here. If it's 35 hertz, it's 8 million. No, that's broke. That's rubbish as well. That's the third. Speed of sound, wavelength, quarter wavelength, full wavelength in feet. Stop giving me. I've even put meters into Google there. If a 40, yeah. Meters, thank you. There we go. 35, 9.8 meters. Oh, it's actually a bit more than it said. But yeah, it also depends at the speed of sound you're at. Oh, wow. What is it in helium? Oh, it moves faster in here. Pure hydrogen, which is not surprising. Glass, very fast. Diamond, super fast. Colin, thanks for the heart. The garage is going to end up the size of a shed. Yeah, yeah, the actual end up final room. It sound good though. But it'll sound super dry. You'll just hear the monitors and nothing else, which is kind of, that's another thing, isn't it? Sometimes you want a little bit of reflection because you don't want it to be like an anechoic chamber where you can hear your heartbeat and your blood pumping round. You don't want it like that, do you? I know I don't. I've never been in one, but I know that if even if I set this myself the challenge of going, I bet I could outstay anyone and not go crazy at hearing the sound of your heart pump for like half an hour. For like half an hour. I think I would. I think everyone would. If the wavelength is 835 hertz, would you not hear a full yawn that distance away from the speakers? Oh, you should. If it's good speakers, you should hear all the waves coming out of them. If you're stood in the right place, and everything else is absorbed, you should hear the exact like what the speakers are rated at, like at any distance. From what I understand, because the air pressure is already coming straight from the cones or the ports, and it's traveling towards you, and then you hear it or feel it, sense it in your ears. Yeah, whatever balanced, whether it's balanced at, it's only when distance only matters, from what I understand, when you've got reflections. So if you do have reflections, and there'll be a sweet spot probably somewhere in the room where it kind of sounds flat. But I think finding that sweet spot in the room is really difficult, and or especially putting your head in the right place every time, moving your desk so that sweet spot's in the same place. Because all you got to do is like move your head, you know, a foot, and it changes. But I think using subs in the real world, even in a crappy room, is still good to get to feel the energy. It's just not as accurate as it could be, Bit of Pro MB on a mid range. Interesting, Mark. Interesting. Mids are first. This is like Steve. Thank you for following. Crap. Right. Well, I've got to try that, Mark. I've just again moved all the. I mean, it's the snare, isn't it? That's doing it. But this is something I don't usually do. I don't usually put an MB on stuff on the master anymore because of the phase. The phase issues it can cause with the sub when you look at it on the scope. But I'm interested to see. I mean, dubstep producers use bloody OTZ anyway on the master, so as long as it sounds good. Right, high mids. Treat it, insulating floor, the bass traps, broadband diffusers. Yeah. Find the time. You study garage. Angle a few parts of the sidewalls to reflect backwards. Yeah, send everything to the back of the room and then just put all your sound absorption there and save a fortune. Is that the way to do it? Sounds like a good idea. I remember going to college and their room was tight. It was like a really small control room, but there was this just endless padding behind, like wooden struts, and the speakers were in the flush into the walls as well. Really big, tall speakers. It sounded amazing. Having a live room, yeah. Yeah, having a control room that's doubles as a live room. Clipping the snare, already clipping the snare a lot. I might clip it on the master though. And this is like a way to angle sound waves so that they, like say a bass trap, where they go to the back of the room and then instead of reflecting back in, they reflect to the sides, and then they hit like triangle shapes, go into those, and then they don't go back into the room again. They just go back and forth into those triangle shapes forever, and until they die. But no, they couldn't do that, could you? Because they would still, where it's come in, it would go back out again, wouldn't it? Yeah. I met someone at a party once, and she said she'd just finished a degree doing acoustics. I was like, yeah, degree. I guess that'll be useful for designing speakers. That kind of knowledge. Naughty. I'm working on this. It sounds too quiet. I can put some of this back in now. Oops. I'm sure I'm making this more difficult than it needs to be. Like I do, like I say, it takes ages for me to mix. The vocals on the wall, in the wall. Partition wall and for a little utility room. Right. That's good having it, yeah. Utility is good in any kind of shed, workshop shed. Just like a urinal. And especially shaped urinal that, I mean, you could put a toilet in, but you could also have, I was thinking of this for my shed. I was like, I wish there was a urinal in here. I mean, it's not that far to go upstairs to the toilet, but it wouldn't be fair, would it, if you could only, if only men could use it. So I was like, there's got to be out there a small bit of porcelain that can cater for everyone. I mean, obviously, you'd have to wipe it, wouldn't you, every time? Didn't think of that, did I? Or just do like a hole in the ground. Just in the shed looking for stuff. You're like, I really need a piss right now, and I've covered in like oil and dirt. But anyway, my solution was just to use the drain outside. It's kind of in view of a window but it's dead far away. And I'll only use it at night in the dark. So, you know, there's no exposure going on. It's okay, it's fine. VSX. What genre? Dubstep. Oh, I need to fix that bit as well. Keep going over it. That's an old bit, but it's... What did I use before? I guess I don't need to use it. Oh. I like that. For some reason, I really like that bit. Wait, what have I done now? Oh, wait, lost track. There, turn that back to how it was. This bit. It's just a grain synth and it sounds like it's repeating something. Can't remember how to. I think it's got the whole signal of I think I did a recording of the master by accident. It's got a snare. You can hear the snare repeating as well as, and I think some of the bass is all pitched up and just like compounding, like a delay. But it just adds this moment of what the but I don't know where to. That's at the start of what did Stranger used to call him? Stranger. I got the terms off him for body, intro, and then you've got when it drops, it's a body, and I think that's a body there. But then it's divided up into. I always forgot the name of it, and I used to label them at the top. But yeah, each one of those. This, I guess, is the start of one of the. It's two bodies there and there, so it's not a body; it's a pattern. So that's a new pattern. and then a variation, and then back into. Thanks, Stan. Clubs in epic. It's good to have like just to hear, because some sounds reflect differently in a room, don't they? And that club sim is a IR reverb, so it is a real place, and you can just kind of get us. It kind of reveals how the mids behave a little bit. Sometimes because some sounds sound loud in your headphones directly, and then when you put it into a room, they sound quiet, and I'm like, well, maybe I should adjust something to bring it out. That still sounds good in dry and in the reverb. So we think this is dubstep, Ellis. We think it is. It's at 140. Oh, I should plug my 149. Oh, it's not mine. It's I'm just part of it. I'm just part of the crew. WOB 40 in Wrexham, in Wales, northeast Wales. So if you live anywhere near Wrexham, or even in Birmingham, or Manchester, or Liverpool, or anywhere in the world, on February the 28th, we've got a gig in a nice little Welsh pub, like we did this year. Well, it's going to be a yearly thing, this. Tickets are cheap, the booze is fresh, the vibe is spot on. It's not a big sound system, but there's a desire in all of us, our crew, to start acquiring bits of sound system. So one day we're going to have some basses that'll blow you everything out the window. For as much as until the council come knocking, which they won't, because this is really old pub and it's like on this corner. And if residents, it's a live music venue as well, so it's not like there's none of those cranky residents who just move in and go, oh God, stand the music, it keeps me awake at night. It's ruined so many clubs, those people. Anyway, there's this night, and that's why I started making everything at 140, because early this year, I played my friend Maya, who's like the promoter. She was like, yeah, you just start off with your ambient stuff. You're going on first, so you can just start with your ambient. I'm like, well, I'll start with some ambient and then do some weird electronica stuff and then play some dubstep, so that the first dubstep guy who comes on next can, just seamlessly transition. So I was playing ambient and weird electronic stuff, and then Maya comes up to me going, you can come off now if you want. I'm only just about to start playing dubstep. Basically, I played way too much ambient and weird electronica, and that's not what WOB 40 was about. So this year, or next year in February, I'm gonna have a shitload of tunes at 140. I'm making loads. I mean, I've already got 11 on the go. I've made way more than that, but they've all gone. Like, I'm not going to finish them. But these 11 that I've got so far, they might not all get finished. But that's 11 so far, and I've still got like just under 3 months to go. Keeping in mind that mixing takes so long, it might not be that much more. But I've been doing this for like 2 months now, so I think another 2 months I could have double the amount of tunes I've got now, which is nice to have that many to choose from. So that's the plan. Interesting, Mark. Yeah, because D&B has made sorry, Andrew Cook, I never answered your question. A filtrator, I don't have that. I don't think I do. Is that Mash. Heard of it? Yeah, I mean D&B is. I mean, it'll always be underground. There'll always be underground D&B nights. They're hard and don't play like boot. Don't play bootlegs for every other tune or every tune. Yeah, and but dubstep is still kind of underground, and I think that's why. Maya likes it because it's kind of like, he's you're not trying to impress anyone who comes through the door with like, oh, it's that hit from the '80s remix. You can do that, just like you've always been able to do that with D&B. But with some D&B DJs, it's just every tune in it is a remix, is a nostalgia hit. They're going for the nostalgia hit with every single, and that's not why I got into. That's not what makes D&B and dubstep great, is it? If you're like me, you're in it for the fresh new sounds that come out of it. So that's what I'll hopefully be bringing to the table is loads of fresh stuff. And I know the DJs there, we get on and we work well together. I know that there's a lot of producers amongst us, and they'll be bringing some of their fresh ones and maybe all fresh ones of their own, the whole set. But the ones who aren't producers will be bringing fresh stuff as well, possibly with some nostalgia hits in. Some is fine, one or two in a set, totally fine. Like, oh my god, it's the Spice Girls, and then some grindy, horrible stuff after it. It's great. I don't have Infiltrator. I was looking at getting. I would like to get, because they've just improved one of their products. It's basically like this, isn't it? Shaper box. The problem with the ducking thing before was that they didn't have a look ahead, which is I didn't have a big enough look ahead. It's got to be at least 12 milliseconds for it to get out of the way for a kick drum in D&B. I mean, you could get away with less. The old version. Oh, right, yeah. I mean, it was on. The whole thing was like on offer on Black Friday. I'm like, I can't just spend loads of money on bloody plugin. I've bought one plugin and it's amazing. That filter table. Really worth whatever 35 quid it was. Japanese filler. Table filler. It's brilliant. That's how I got this sound. Don't know how else I would have done that with some stacks and stacks of Ableton stock fillers, maybe. Or maybe a phaser, like a few phases like controlled in the right way. Floor jam, what do I do for a living? I'm a carer, primarily. And I've got babies at the moment, and it's taken up all my time. Shaper box. Right. So what are we going to do? Right, at this point, I've spent a lot of time in this session doing this now. I think I've just have one less to listen to. So we have a channel for that. Oh, we do already have this rendered bit here for this entry. Entry? That's not the right word. New entry. Top of the pops. Oh, now I can reverse this, can I? It's tempting. Yeah. Reverse. Two lasers at the same time. Now that sounds too dry. Should we move it up to the effect channel? I don't know. WC Merc Cyber Gods, thank you for following. Random, how's it going? Turn that bit of that laser off. Ian, thank you. Oh, thanks, Mark. And thanks for your suggestion with the mid-band. Catch you soon. The mid-band and multi-band compression. It's made me think about the mid-band. I always forget that. Big up. Take care. Okay. Yeah, random. I can't remember if you said you had audio interface with phantom power. Yeah, this CO Samsung 303, CO3. It's either CO2 or CO3. I can't remember which one it is now. I bought it so I could sing ages ago, sing into it, and it kind of sound really clear in high end because that's what this type of mic is good for, isn't it? A large electret capacitor mic where the diaphragm's like a diaphragm mic. It's like that sort of size, and yeah, it's been good. I mean, like, there's this whole world of bloody microphones, isn't there, where they all have slightly different sounds and different EQ, natural EQ, frequency responses and stuff, and some sound warmer. And I'd love to get a ribbon mic. They sound like they'd be really good. Just faded. Yeah, well, no, it should. It's designed. I'm designing it so it tickles one's ears, definitely. So maybe it's not just because you faded. Maybe music for fun. Yes, yeah, I do make music for fun. I'm a lifer. I've been doing this since the 90s. And then I started to try to make stuff that was releasable, or more importantly, I think works well on a dance floor. I want people to dance. Dancing's great. I love dancing. So it'd be nice if we could make people dance it to give back. that being more important than money. But obviously, doing what you love, it would be nice to make money from it, wouldn't it? Like anything. Really? You've got ribbon mics? Nice. I didn't think they'd be great for drums. That's really weird. This is Ableton Live, Aaron. Ableton Live 12. Sweet. Which means it's got everything. It's got all the stock plugins that come with it. SM7. Boarding school. Nice. Nice. Boarding school. You get your own like room at boarding school. Like you can have you got your own little studio there? USB mic. Oh, good. Yeah, the trouble with you just having a dedicated USB mic is you don't know what the, or you've got no control over the, what's it called? The analog digital converters. It's just the one that comes with the mic, isn't it? And I'm assuming you can get USB mics that have really good analog AD converters as well as a good actual mic. But when you separate them and you buy them separately, you kind of like can pick and choose, can't you? You can sort of stick with the same mic but try a different outbox audio interface. Sarah Sunshine, hi. Thanks for hearting. Thanks for sending me a heart. How are you doing? I found the condenser mics. Right. Take high boost. Well, yeah. So I think this kind of mic works for my voice. I don't know. I've never compared it with. I've compared it with a dynamic mic. I did have an AKG, a cheap AKG, and I gave it away. It was like I only have a small mic collection. I gave it away, but I knew the sound of it. It sounded good. I think it sounded better with my voice than that. I eventually got an SM58. You know, like the industry, is that the industry standard one? You can just like throw it a wall, and it'll be all right. Throw it at a wall. And I've got that in a drawer, and I never use it. But yeah, it's good this mic because I can stand up, just over here, and it still is my high frequency. But if I go here, it should go really quiet. Yeah, it's not as loud here because it's directional. Oh, it's in directional mode. It's in cardioid mode. There's 3 switches positions here, so it just kind of listens kind of out in is it about 30 degrees is the hotspot from the whichever ways it points. 57 is the 57 the electret or the capsule, the where it needs phantom power, and the the 58 is the, oh, all right. Right. I don't know about mics then, do I? Is it the same capsule? Right. So I've got what I think is an SM58 in the drawer, and it can do things I didn't realize it could do. I mean, I saw someone tape over and I was like, that's just confused me. You tape over the bit where the air passes past it and it turns into an omnidirectional. But I don't know what I'm doing. I don't mic stuff up enough now I obviously don't know what I'm talking about. But we did do drum miking, and I mic'd on my own voice. That's all I've done. Did you drum miking in college? That was a lot of fun. I wish I did that as my job as well, just miking up things. Because it's great, because you get to like mess around with stuff like mics and mixing desks, but you also get to like stand next to musicians. Musicians are you know, some of them are nuts, or some of them are like really talented, or both. Just fire. All right. Share it with three motherfuckers. It's hard life. Not bad though. Three. That's three others. Yes, so four in a room. What kind of music do you write? WC. Merc Cyber. Modern ones, the ones you have to be careful. Oh, the old ones you got to be careful. Yeah, yeah. I even thought this kind, you had to be careful. If you drop it, it's like a 1 micron thick sheet of gold, and it can just like rip. That's what they told us in college. They got a studio at the school with fire. Okay, nice. Do you get to use them much, Kian? Are they constantly in use and you've got like book a slot? Hypercardioid. Nice. Oh, hypercardioid. So they're like even narrower field of. That's what it sounds like. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's why this one works really well. You can't really hear the room. I can't, but I'm listening on my headphones. No, I listen back on headphones as well to edit sometimes for clips. But I'm not speaking loud. I'm not singing. If I was belting out a tone and it was being compressed, you'd probably hear the room behind me, wouldn't you? But it's pointed diagonally, so maybe not. There's just so you know. Oh, I've got noise suppression on. Looks like a lollipop. It's not. I've not got 58 then. What have I got? The one that every pub has. Don't cup the mic live. Oh yeah, God, yeah. Just they don't listen to. Lots of 3K. EDM drum and bass, nice. But inspired. Make for people with struggles. Okay. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I've always had two paths that I've been down with production. I either make my favorite dance music, which is usually D&B or dubstep now, and I will make D&B again. Trust. I still, if I'm going to a club and I have to choose between D&B and dubstep, I'm going to choose D&B. It's that kind of speed resonates with me just a bit more. But I do like the chill of dubstep. But anyway, I have two paths: favorite dance music or anything else, formless, weird stuff without rules that a genre has. I usually end up borrowing sounds from genres like basses and kicks. But yeah, how long have you been doing that for, WC Merc? Whenever the music A-levels ain't in there. Right. A-level music tech. A-level. So I did the bit before that. I did 1 year of music tech. I don't know if it was a B-tech. A long time ago, and I didn't go on and do the 2 years after it, which I don't know if it was it was an intermediate level, so it wasn't, probably not even an A level, I don't know. And I kind of wish I'd done it now, because to be around other producers for longer and make contacts that way. but I just decided to other things instead and still make music at home, but probably not at a rate that I could have been going at. Yeah. Well, you know, it's the path I took. Took longer to get where I am now. Where am I now? All I'm doing is a live stream and making tunes, that's it. But, you know, if I'd had all those contacts, maybe things would be different. Maybe I would have had whatever success is. I don't know what success is a platinum release. No. That is a measure of success. I mean, if I had got like a metal disc on the wall behind me, I'd be like, oh yeah, I got that. I've got that, you know. But I haven't got any of that. I've hardly had any releases. Or release myself, because I can't be asked with rejection, labels rejecting and chasing them up. I could probably do a pretty good job of chasing them up now. Stop looks only. Yeah, you gotta get creative then, haven't you? It's an opportunity to be creative if you can only use another door's stock plugins. I like that challenge sometimes. If someone forced me to use Logic now, I'd be like, right, put a beat down, put some bass down, start modulating the beat crazy with some automation. And there we go. We're getting towards some kind of semi-interesting dubstep track. Make an intro. And then use Logic's strengths, which are, I don't know, it probably has some strengths in its stock plugins that help lay stuff to some certain things down quicker. Channel, yeah, I'll check your channel out. What are your channel on here? Follow me. Make sure you follow me. I'll check out your channel. Bro, Louis, am I using Valhalla Supermassive on this? I don't know if I am, you know. I don't think I actually am. I could be wrong. I think it could be on the channel and I forgot. No, there's no big sounds. There's no like a never-ending like space going on. Hello, allergic to bullshit. It's good to have you here. Success enjoying what you do. Yeah, well, that is a good definition of us. That is a really good definition, yeah. I do feel I'm enjoying this moment. That's kind of a successful thing, isn't it? Yeah. Even if you have nothing and you've just got the shirt on your back, you can just have a few moments, can't you, where you enjoy the shirt on your back and the air and the whatever, the peace. You might have to go onto the top of the hill for the peace, or behind a door. I don't know. Some people can block it out, can't they? Well, you can block it out. You just sit in the not in the middle of the road, but at the side of the road, and just be in a zone. Logic have some great plugins. See, I nearly switched to Logic a long time before I moved to Ableton. Yeah, and then they moved it to Mac, and I was just like, but I was about to switch, and now I'm definitely not. Do hip hop. Word meanings. Sounds interesting. I used to use Windows on a cracked switch to Mac and have a select few. Yeah, that's it. I used to have an enormous amount of cracked plugins, and didn't use most of them. It was good to try things out and experiment. But yeah, now I have a select few, still quite a lot, and some ones I don't really need actually. But it's just the projects that I've used them in. I kind of want them to still be there in case I want to load those projects up, but I don't really need to. So, right, let's have one last listen. Okay, from the beginning. Wait, that's crunchy in that, isn't it? Crunchy. It's not even that high usage. Or OBS. Okay. Nuts that. Nothing using it. No, it's distortion. It's distortion. But I'm not sure what's causing it. Is it? Yes. Oh. It's the limiter. Why is it sound so shit? Right, let's turn it all the way down. It's the signal going too hot into something, but there's nothing else on the end of the chain. It's like it's whenever it hits the whenever there's gain reduction. Which is very strange. Right, we're going to use Pro Q3 and we're going to do a bit more. It's just this intro sound that's crackling onto. It's making Pro L crackle, which it doesn't usually do. It's very strange. See, if I turn the lookout off completely, it crackles. How weird is that? Because it's a slow attack. Maybe it's because it's a slow attack. It still crackles a bit. Very strange. So anyway, lookout, yeah. Put the lookout back. And the Kraken's lesson. Lesson? The Kraken's lesson. The crackles lesson. Maybe it's just too loud. Or maybe it needs a compressor. Yeah, I think compressor because... Oh, it has got a compressor there, look. That is doing some work. But I'm going to put another one on. Look at those spikes there. So we can get the best out of this. I don't usually use compressors. I hardly use them. after years of using them and trying them out. But to fix things like this, so that's 6 dBs of boost and it still sounds loud enough. I probably need to use compressors more, to be fair, because there are some spiky sounds in this production right here, and when you listen to commercial dubstep, the snares sound snappy, but they're actually not peaking, but they still sound like they are. It's like an illusion. Ooh, sup, Cosmic. Whoa, did I got completely do whatever I was doing. I've missed like an entire million conversations here. Which genre? This is dubstep. Wait, so let's play. I was just playing it and I immediately spotted that something was crunching. So I've temporarily fixed it. Just controlled the level. Start again. Whenever you're bored, it is so easy, and you get inspiration from it as well. But it doesn't last long. But well, it's good once you've got your core plugins that you can trust. Yeah, but I think what was weird about that compression thing that happened then, which I usually don't have a bassy mid synth part that's so spiky that the compressor can't handle. Because if with the settings on that compressor, then if I'd put that through a normal compressor instead of the L2 limiter, it wouldn't have crackled. So I was just surprised that the L2's just showing me something that it does that I'm not familiar with, because it was on the all-round setting on the L2. That's enough auto gain. Reduce threshold a bit. I mean, yeah, I would have eased off the threshold maybe a bit so that it wasn't compressing as much. I compress everything. Yeah, I know. Well, this is it with, if I'm making dubstep, I probably should compress every single signal as much as possible, because there's not much need for dynamics, or on most tracks in a dubstep track you probably don't need much dynamics, and you can just set levels instead. Squash everything to max and then put it somewhere in the mix. And then obviously if you want a contrasting bit, that can be squashed to fuck as well, but it can be quiet, and there's your contrast and there's your dynamics, you know. But that's something I'm still learning. James, hello. Is that James? How have you been, Cosmic Drum? I've been busy, tired, and tonight I'm not. But it is nearly 1, it's like after midnight. That's not expected. But I've got help in the house tomorrow, so I can stay up for a little bit. I mean, I should use this time to recover, but yeah, how about you, Cosmic? Yeah. What can I do for get lost some inspiration? That sounds good. Open up your sequencer and make some rubbish for 10 minutes as quick as you can, but have 5 tracks. It's Mike Monday method. Mike Monday. Check Mike Monday out, by the way. He's completely changed the way I make music. So, template with a drum kit, bass, a couple of other instruments, and use that template to make a tune in 10 minutes. And then whatever you've done in 10 minutes, just do it as quick as possible. Set a timer, do it as quick as possible. Bounce whatever you've got, even if it's just like a few bars, 2 different phrases or something, and some beats, whatever. Bounce it. No, save it, bounce it, don't listen to it for a week. And do that, and see how many of those you can do. If it only takes 10 minutes or 20 minutes, if you're in a flow or whatever. See if you can do how many of those you can do in an hour. And then you might, if you do that every day for an hour, at the end of the week you'll have a load of tunes, a load of rubbish. Don't try and edit, don't try and be perfect, just make rubbish. Purposely make rubbish. That's my take on Mike Monday. I'm sure he said it as well, but yeah, you are going to make rubbish. So just throw stuff down, doesn't matter. And then at the end of the week, when you listen back, you'll have like 20, 30, I don't know how many you can do. See if you can do one every 10 minutes. Play them all back. Put the ones that aren't going anywhere in a folder called sketchbook. And some of them will jump out. Some of them, the actual first idea you came up with, some of them will be like, oh shit, that's good. In all that rubbish, there'll be 1 or 2 good things that are worth spending more time on. That is how I get around. You don't wait for inspiration. Basically, that's what this is about. Don't wait for it. Just make stuff. And what you make, you're the curator of all this stuff, that rubbish that comes out. You will find stuff, and that will inspire you. The bits that you've made. That is this whole live stream. Every single one of these live streams could just be about this fundamental idea of creating anything. You could apply that to painting or writing, even, or any kind of like creating of stuff. But this works really well for an electronic music producer who works with a sequencer, who can just like easily bounce things, and it's cheap and it's free to do, because you could do the same for writing lyrics. You could do the same for writing guitar to go with the lyrics, and writing guitar parts. And yeah, it's going good, big man. Big man. I'm a big man. I like being called big man. I was one of the tallest people in my class. Out of sync. Shit, doesn't surprise me. I've been on for a bit now. Try that. Yeah, hopefully it has gone. Deliberate. Did I just see the start? Out of sync. Okay. Yeah, that's another one. Allergic to bullshit. Yeah. Listen to new music you've never heard before. It's a really good one. Yeah, that inspires me as well. Like sometimes I get so there's doing that method, and then you might, like me, only have an hour or 2 in the evening, so you might go through your day and you'll hear some new music and you go, oh shit, listen to that technique they did with the hi-hats. And you remember it to do when it gets to your session time, and you could do that, and then you could just do 3 or 4 tracks with that little technique, and so you can sort of carry stuff through from the day to use in those sessions. But you You don't need to, but yeah, like I still get inspiration from tunes, but it's just not. You don't need it inspiration to make music. You can just do with what's in you, what comes out your fingers randomly. You're the curator of it though. At the end of it all, you still get to choose which bits of rubbish are the best. Which random smashings on the keyboard were the best. Fab Filter is the best. I mean, it's big. The start with the sound you added. Thank you, James. It's good to hear because I've been working a long time on sound design, and I didn't even think I was a good sound designer, but I think you have to be to make. Or you have to at least be making sounds to make D&B and dubstep. I mean, you could just use samples. You don't need to. You just need a copy of Serum and an ability to twiddle a knob. That's good as well. Allergic to bullshit. Do some exercise. I forgot. You've reminded me that I need to do some exercise today. I've done a bit of walking, but not enough. Yes, and you can think about stuff. Yeah, about music production. Yes. No, yeah. Clipper. I've already got a clipper on the drums. I might put one on the master at the end, but I'm not at that stage. I'm not at the mastering stage yet. Does it? Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's the mix. I think if you've got a good relationship with your mastering engineer and enough money, and they've got enough time, they'll say, if something's too loud and they can't fix it easily, they'll tell you to go back to the mix and fix it there, because it'll sound better if you do. Take a break. Make deliberate joke music. I love that one. That was a great tip. Make deliberate joke music. It's such a great tip, that actually. Yeah. I wish I could make like tweet of the day or whatever it is. Because whenever I've tried to make some funny shit, it's turned out really fun. And when something's fun, that's like you end up you can get into a flow state quite easily and just carry it on until it's. And it might sound like ridiculous clowny joke music, but you might also create some gold in there, and you can always edit out the stuff that's, you just edit it later for the best, to keep the best bits. I did that the other day with I combined Belgian lasers at 140 with the Dillinger bass, but it was like a cross between a Dillinger bass and a Belgian laser. And I'm still working on that tune. It's got Amens in it. Oh wait, is it? Yeah, it's got Amen. It's got the Amen break in it. That's how mad it is. Sounds like jungle, but it doesn't. The Amen drums make it sound like jungle, and some of the basses do, but apart from that, it sounds like noise. Beats as fast as possible. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and then tweak your template so that next time, if whatever slowed you down on the previous time, you can sort of have something, build a new device that helps you next time when you want to do that thing that you want to do that slowed you down. So then you end up, and then this is from the school of Mike Monday. Instead of spending that 10 minutes making music, you could spend 20 minutes in total, 10 minutes making music, and at the end of each session, spend 10 minutes tweaking your setup and building any little device or something that will help you in the next session. And also write it all down as well. Review what went well. This is My Monday now. Totally My Monday. Check out My Monday. My Monday is just like game changer in attitude towards creating. So I made my like output go up like multiple fold. Gas advice. That's what you've been doing, yeah. Rapped on death metal for the first time ever. No way. Wow. I bet that sounds good. Interesting. Have you got any on your channel? Allergic to bullshit. Papa Bravo, thank you for following. What got me out of an inspiration one time was legit remix the Chinese bell flute like sound thing into a trap beat. I can confirm you at all. I think last time I saw you, James, was that was it by the seaside? In real. Perez, you got a question? Shout away, Perez. There's a lot of people here who could probably answer it as well. The arrangement. Oh, okay. How does it feel like old school? See, I'm always trying to go for like the new American kind of a tear out kind of thing as well. I mean, this is, I don't know what this is, but sometimes I do keep that in mind. But their arrangements are a bit different, I guess. They kind of come around a bit quicker, maybe, and shorter. I mean, this is only 3 minutes. What was I saying? Got a question. It's not just about sound arrangement. Sidechain comp, that cool. Oh, so yeah, I've not sidechained anything yet in this because I kept saying I'll do that in the mixing stage, which we're now in. So yeah, that's probably another reason why those kicks are looking very spiky on the limiter, because it's phasing with the subs, isn't it? Which are like very loud in decibels, so they're probably spiking massively. Should we have a look how much they are spiking, just out of curiosity? It's always good to see. Size scope on the master, the beginning. In real, yeah. How are you doing anyway? What have you been up to? It's been ages. Dynamics. It's mostly due to arrangement. Oh, sorry. So sidechain, that cool detuny dark pad thing at the start to the kick. Yeah, that's interesting. That's one thing I've always wondered whether to do, is whether, like, it's obviously easier to just group everything, put one sidechain on it, innit? Maybe have some separate subs, separate to the actual bases, sine waves, and sidechain those more, so but more tightly as well with the kick, so they work with phase with the kick. But I do listen to some dubstep sometimes, and I wonder if they've got a duck on every channel, and it's doing something just slightly different, appropriate for that channel. And it sounds like you're saying do that. So it sounds like you're saying do that, Kian. Yeah. So I might try that now. Thanks. Allergic to bullshit, follow me. Thank you. I will listen to if you've got anything on your channel. That's rapping over death metal. Levy followed me. Thank you. Kian, thank you for following. Making user presets. So there was what was the other thing I was going to talk about making sounds. Oh yeah, the other way to get inspired, or to just start doing stuff in your sequencer, is try and do a cover version. I did cover versions of Xtel by Aphex Twin, and recently did Helios Fan. And by doing that, I discovered a few things. It was a good challenge. I got quite close each time with the sounds. I didn't use the original samples that Aphex Twin used, apart from the Apache break. So making some of the sounds was very difficult, and I didn't really know how to, because it's like a human voice. So I used my voice a bit in it as well and pitched it up. But it revealed something about phase and the era that was made in, where you would use samplers to record a whole sound and just played back that sound, which could be a mixture of sounds captured and then, or just on one key. It's just one sample now. And when you do that, you can control the phase a lot easier than you could if you do it nowadays. So anyway, mad thing I learned from it. But maybe the next time I do a cover of an old Aphex Twin track, I will apply that. But it's good. Yeah, it's good to try and like reverse engineer, just to build the skills at doing it, the engineering skills. Maybe. Okay, so I will sidechain. I'm just going to Sidescope Pro. No death metal on your channel, just Conscious Trap. Conscious Trap. Brilliant. Godsend for laying down quick ideas. Yeah. Having a good preset system. Like, I'm still trying to make enough I've got to reorder my Serum presets because they're a bit of a mess. Tear Out is just angry snares, distorting sub. Yeah. Is it? Yeah, so that's a good definition. I wanted to know. No probs allergic. Tear Out. That's what it sounds like. It does sound very distorted, so I don't want to do it that distorted. I want to do it like clean, like Skrillex, and a bit more musical. Pro and B, sidechaining, yeah. I did try that as well once. Multi-band sidechaining, and you get like phase sort of smearing a bit with it. It's the only trouble. What the hell is a kilometer? I don't know, Nikki. It's is it a meter? Is it some kind of meter but for kilos? Scales. Scales is a musical word as well. Cause the sidechain on those pad sounds make it pump. Yes. Shaper box or stock Ableton comp. I'm nearly earning the message. Soothe, yes, Soothe is great. And coming from you, Andrew Cook, if you're saying Soothe is great, it is. I've used it in a few tracks that I've released. Sparingly, I used it, but it was really good for two sounds that were conflicting. They had sharing a frequency range, and one sound was I determined to be more important than the other, so I made that dip the other two out of the way, and it solved the problem, and it actually sounded better, which is always good when you try for a solution in audio and engineering, doesn't it? Yeah, so the two works well. But I have tried to reduce harshness in sounds with Soothe too, and it takes the life out of them sometimes. But for sidechaining, it seems to work. It has its best use. Also for vocals, I bet it's good for controlling the resonances. I reckon it'd be good for that. Going that tolerance vacuums makes beat of it. Okay. Yeah, because then you've got the sound of a voice, and you can, whatever you sculpt around it is going to be, there's going to be always room for a voice, isn't there? Because I think when I make beats, I can't make a beat for a rapper because I usually have loads of low mid stuff, which is where the voice is, isn't it? Taking up the space, and then I don't want to take it away. Hello, good sir, Martin. Did you try it? Not yet. Sonic Sound. I'm getting around to it. I will do it. Just like I'm getting around to making bassline. I will do it. Great for making mid-side stuff. See, that is one thing I'm still trying to do. Getting my head around is mid-side. I guess it needs just to play with it, though. Equal to megameter. All right. Nice. That's good to know. That's like almost. It's almost, it's 2/3 of a mile, isn't it? Andrew could love it for mixing vocals. Really steep and use it de-esser. Yeah. Right. De-esser, good use for it. The high quality mode doesn't make that much of a difference. I think it's using FFT, isn't it? And I'm assuming that when you put it on ultra high quality mode, it's just, maybe it doesn't use FFT. I don't know. But you might get artifacts, but I think the artifacts were probably not going to be as severe as the actual the actual source material and the frequency reduction. I assume they're just going to be sort of secondary problems, but I don't know. It sounds like you work with way more material than I do, like real analog world material, like actual air vibrations. All right. Right, so we're going to do Syscope Pro, and then we're going to put a device called Duck Buddy to do the ducking on the introduction sound whenever there's a kick. What we're looking for now is this is before the whatever it's called, the limiter. Actually, it doesn't look that bad, does it? It's a healthy looking waveform. Let's go back here. Change it to bar. Right, so there's a big spike there. I think there is some phasing now. Look. Can I zoom in? There we go. I think that looks where there's a kick and a sub at the same time and they're overlapping, and we're getting that. We can confirm that by, oops, not that one, this one. And there's just the kick there. It's not that much though, is it? It's not actually that much. Take the kick out. Yeah. But they are overlapping. So we could duck the bass just a bit. Add a sub underneath, yeah. So that's what I usually do for a solution, is high pass everything, do a separate sub. And I almost always end up doing it because I want it to be so controlled, and usually the best stuff is. But right, anyway, so that's what that looks like. Now we're going to put a duck. Maybe I should just duck everything like I usually do. Right, all these tracks can go now. I kept those for too long. This is your reminder to stay hydrated. Bass goes brr. Baby Audio Smooth Operator. It's cheaper than Soothe. Okay. There's some the EUN Bristow one on Plug Data, makes plugins for Plug Data, which is like a free VST based plugin maker, multi-platform. And he's got one called, I can't remember what it's called, but it's free. And he does a not free one, but works in the same way. There's quite a lot of those now, like Series 2 opportunities, alternatives. Oh my gosh, right. I've got to probably go in 10 minutes because my eyes. You know it'd be longer than 10 minutes, but that's good to aim for something. Save it and then put Duck Buddy on, which is Duck Buddy. There's now a Duck Buddy version 2, which isn't free. This one is free, and it does everything you need it to do. It's fucking mint. It's so good. So this kick is called Kick Caldroit. Stock kick, that. Don't usually do that either. It's for speed, just use the stock kits to lay stuff down and ended up keeping. I think I swapped the snare. Oh no, maybe I didn't. Stock kit, stock snare. On the intro. So we're going to kit, strutter. So this is, if you're in Ableton, this is something that commercial duckers can't do. MIDI, they can't do MIDI. Oh no, they can. No, wait, can? I think they can. Some of them can, but not like this, where you can select the actual kick. I don't know. There's ways around it. Kick Cal Troy. We're gonna watch this. Can you hear it? Is that a slow enough release? That's going to 0. Just ease off a bit. 24 dB reduction. Sometimes you don't notice it, do you? Ducking. When it's done, you have to really listen to it. But I mean, most people don't. It just sounds good. Because it's what the ears do. The ears have their own, like, compression. And at the release time, if you stand in next to a motorway, you clap next to your ear, you'll hear the sound go in and come back. It just comes back at the same kind of rate. It's mad. So yeah, if you can sort of like, maybe it's like maybe there's the guide to how quick to do the release, is how our ears do it, and then do the work for your ears in the engineering side of a tune. I don't know. All theories. Reverb to what? What would you add reverb to? Well, it already has reverb. We're on a 3.4 second room, large room there. Can you hear the click? That's the duck. So this shows you the problem with sidechaining with sample accuracy to the MIDI. It makes it go click, so it creates a new problem. And so the way to get around that problem is have a look ahead and then ramp down. You might not be able to hear that because of the TikTok's compression, audio, well, level control. Yeah, go ahead, James. So this duck, now I want to, I'm going to save it at this point and then group everything. See, I don't even need these either. Get rid of them. And the Latin percussion thing can go because that was like loads of bongos that were part of a template. It's speeding up massively now. I've deleted all this stuff. What's this as well? Like mad empty tracks here. Don't need these. Yeah. Every track's got something on it now. That's what stage we're at. Saturate kick snare. Use glue compressor, use full parallel. And boost the transients into a clipper. Juicy drums. Let's try that in a minute. Try grouping all your synths together. Sub. Medium saturate. Whack a sidechain on the master group. After an OTT. Now, James, I think I'm listening to you because I know that you've got a good ear. I know you've got a good ear. I've heard the tunes you play, so I know you've got a good ear. Is this something that's worked for you as well? I want to know now. Have you tried? How many times have you tried it, and that like works? It sounds like it works. Oh, hell, okay, right. Because that's what I was talking about this early on in the live stream, that I probably don't compress everything enough for the type of music I'm making here. Dubstep usually is quite nice on the ears because it is because the levels are all controlled. I've just feel like I haven't got as much experience with level control than I have with everything else. So you're actually saying stuff here that's like, I've not tried this. I don't usually OTT, but I know that a lot of dubstep producers do for a good reason. It is exactly. I know. I even reasoned with myself in this live stream tonight, saying that the way it's probably done is every single track is squashed to fuck, so there's no dynamics, but you can still overall so everything's squashed to fuck, every track, and then the tracks are level. Then you set the levels of your sounds, but you can still have overall. I mean, you might have a really quiet intro, and you might have bits where the beat's cut out and there's just a momentary very quiet section of the track or a really quiet sound, and there's your dynamics, there's your contrasting level, but it's all super control. It's all done in a super control way, and it's all sausage. Yeah, no, this is it. I'm taking a leaf here out of your book here. Yeah, I don't use it enough. Like I stopped using multiband in my D&B productions, and wouldn't even use OTT. I would just do sound selection and maybe compress some transients in sounds that have like bad resonances or EQ, you know what I mean, but not compression on every track. But let's try it. More depth. Send a drum bus to 11176. All buttons in. Now trying to use the design after the clipper. Anyway. Right. So I've saved it. We've got a more efficient project here because it's ticking over at 22%. Okay. Oh no, it's using a third there, but you know, it's because of this. We can we get rid of this as well? Yeah, let's freeze this one because this might be. Oh, my eyes. And I'm going to bed, so it's probably going to be another 20 minutes. Suppressor. Hi, Lucas. I'm good, thank you. How are you? Right. Yeah, okay. That's doable. Quick whoosh, original. Serum. Grain scanner has been converted. Yeah, they're all WAVs. So drop everything into a group. We're truly mixing now. Else, I always call it else. Or duck, no, I call it duck these days, so I actually know. So let's go back to what you're saying here, James. Oh, crap. I might have to go. There's a baby crying. They might stop. Come on. Go back to sleep. Okay, I'm gonna whisper. Kick snare. I'll do the drum thing in a minute, but what I'm gonna do first is OTT. Oh, the baby. Come on. Oh shit, she sat up. Right. I've gotta go. Fuck's sake. I still want to do the auto tune. Yeah, auto tune a baby, but not when they're crying. When they're just like making happy noises, you know. Right. Yes, I've got to go, guys. Thank you. Shit. I'm gonna screen cap this or something. How do I screen cap? I forgot how to print screen. Right. See you in a bit, guys.